What's up guys, Cindy Parr back again with another tip of the week. If you've missed my previous tips of the week, go take a look. We've talked about footwork, lower body mechanics, upper body mechanics, the pace at which you should move through the box, and I've also given some pretty great drills. Today, I'm going to give you one quick tip. My tip today is that whenever you're on the left side, whether you're bunting, you're slapping, you're swinging, you're soft slapping, you're chop slapping, whatever tool you might be using, we have to get set in the same place in the box and look the exact same. The defense is gonna know whether, let's say I'm ready to swing. Okay, well now I'm gonna move up. Or let's say, okay, this next pitch I'm gonna slap, I'm gonna move back. We have to look the exact same with where we stand, how we set up our hands, everything has to look identical. Now, I'm gonna get into a little bit more detail. We're actually gonna talk about bunting today. I'm gonna give you 3 quick tips where bunting is concerned. First tip, whenever you're going to bunt, we have to make sure that the barrel gets out before the foot crosses over. If we get in a rush and we let this foot get down and then bring our barrel around, we will not be in a good position. So again, the barrel has to get out before the foot crosses over. Tip number 2, whenever we get the barrel out before the foot crosses over, we want to make sure that the barrel is high at about chest level with our elbows bent. If we have our arms locked out or the barrel down here, we are not going to bunt the ball successfully. So the barrel again at chest level with the elbows bent. Now, tip number 3, I'm going to kind of explain a few things in one. So whenever we get the barrel out, when that foot crosses over, we want to be in a pretty shut position. We do not want to be in an open position. It's going to make it hard to bunt that outside pitch. So when we go to bunt, we're still shut, we're down in our legs. We should not be standing up tall. We're down our legs in a good athletic position. And when we set this barrel up high, we want our chin and eyes behind it. If my head is here and my barrel is up, I'm not going to be able to track the ball to my barrel. Now, really quickly, we're going to talk about how we should grip it whenever we're bunting it. I know a lot of people have differences in opinions, but I've been seeing this quite often where girls are going to bunt and they have their hand wrapped around the front of the bat. I'm going to be quite honest, you're going to be more susceptible to breaking your hand. The way that I bunted whenever I played and the way that I teach my athletes is I'm going to come a little bit closer to the camera. You make a gun with your hand, your thumb is up, fingers out. Whenever we put the hand on the barrel, we just want to apply pressure, pinching it with our thumb, our fingers behind it. I promise you by doing this, you will be able to apply pressure whenever you're bunting and control the barrel. The ball's not going to hit and fly backwards. You're going to be able to, just by using that finger, apply some pressure and keep it pretty sturdy whenever the ball hits the barrel. I've got one more thing that I want to add to all of that. Whenever we go to bunt the ball, it's sometimes very easy to do, and everyone falls victim of this at times, that right before going to bunt, we want to peel off towards first too fast. No. Our job is to ensure, and we want to make sure that we get the bunt down and then we take off running. So don't, before you go to bunt, peel off too soon. We want to get the bunt down and then take off running towards first base. Now I'm going to give you a few drills that I like to call a progression that you can do before you actually get into your routine of bunting regularly. Drill number 1, you simply put a fielding glove on your left hand, get set in your stance, set that hand up and back, the ball is going to be tossed and you're just going to simply catch it. This works on how the top hand moves when you're going to bunt. Drill number 2, I would suggest using a baby bat, not the regular softball bat. It's going to make it a little bit tough. Using a baby bat, you're going to set your hand up the way that you would when you bunt, setting it up and back, and all we are going to do is we are going to bunt with this top hand. Now, what this does is not only are you working on how that top hand works, but it also helps you to control the bat, understand how to set the barrel angle and how to control it. So hand is up and back, go around, bunt. Third and final drill, the athlete will do this before they go into just regular bunting through their motion. They'll get into their crossover position, setting the hands nice and high, down in their legs, just ensuring that they're in the proper position before they get into their regular motion. And then from there, after all of those drills, the athlete can then transition into regularly bunting through the motion. What I like to do with my athletes is 2 things. I've created this bat. I just got an old bat, wrap tape on the end of the barrel so the athlete can work on really bunting it on the end of the barrel. We don't want to bunt it on the fat part of the bat. That's when it pops off the bat. We want to get it on the end of the barrel so we can deaden it. The second thing that I like to do with my athletes is I set up a cone system out in front of them, or I have little place markers that I'll put on the ground where they can work on bunting third baseline, up the middle, first baseline, just to give them a visual. All right, guys, that's it. I gave you all a lot of information. That was my tip of the week. Tip number 1, I talked to you all about setting up in the same position, looking the exact same every single time you get in the box, no matter what tool you're about to use. The second thing that I went through is bunting. Gave you some good tips where bunting's concerned on mechanics, and gave you a few progression drills that you can implement into your practice.